Hey, good morning, Joan. How are you? I'm doing a little polishing this morning, and that's what we're going to do first, and then I'll turn a diamond pen. Joan is the first one here this morning. Thank you for joining. Hey, Lily, good morning. We're going to polish up some caps for some kitless pens this morning, and then we'll turn a diamond pen. We'll probably be on here till noon. I'm good. I'm really good. I was able to go pick up a laser work that was in honor of my grandpa, so it's been a good morning already. Thank you. When you see this when it's finished, it's very stunning. This cap will be finished. I have three caps to do this morning. The green always takes the longest just to make sure that, all the final swirl marks and stuff are out of it and all the tool marks. Thanks, Jay. They are today. Beautiful colors. I poured some more last night. So earlier in the week, there was a drop that had a really, really crazy color. And I poured some as a kitless as well this morning. So I'll be able to show you all of them those later. Hey, thanks, buddy, for the coffee. Thanks, Tater. You guys have a good day. Be safe. Watch the weather. It's supposed to get snowy. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. They're beautiful, I'm sure. I've seen some beautiful work come from him. We could also, when these caps are finished, we could use a little bit of this time to explain kitless pens and how that works for some folks, and maybe a little more about the ink and refills and that kind of stuff. It's always a mystery to lots of people. And in the world of kitless pens and ink is a whole different animal all in itself. And paper is another one too. Yeah, we can do that today. Of all the pen styles we make, I like to make kitless the most. You get really creative, and you're not limited to hardware or any choice like that. Looks like we have a few people on this morning. Six so far, not too bad. Hey, Carlos with us. It's really early out there where you are. What, 7 a.m., 6 a.m.? Yeah, we should be good then. Put on some wax. Jen, I know in the last couple of months you got a new addition to the cat household. Is everybody getting along now? We'll let that blush up since Steve isn't here. I said, I know that you recently added another kitten to your other cats. Is everybody getting along? No cats can be territorial. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Here is the body that goes to that cat. Here are a couple others that I finished polishing this morning. Back this up a little bit if we can. Thank you. I'm glad to hear everybody's getting along. We will turn something later today, but for the time being, we're going to polish some caps and we'll turn some in a little bit. I'm going to a minimum turn this blank, which was number 6. I know it looks like there's a lot of orange in it, but a lot of it will disappear. And there's a lot of big holographic glitter in there. So it should be really, really beautiful. How's Glenn this morning, Carla? Good. I know he told me the news that he got yesterday, and I was just checking on him. Hey, there's Glenn. Good morning. Wow. So who here this morning is a coffee drinker? Anybody? Everybody? Joan, Carla. I know I like coffee. Do you guys have a Christmas market or anything today, Carla or Glenn? I will catch up the drawings today too for the last couple weeks of the giveaway. I apologize with Thanksgiving and last week has been super busy. I'll catch those up and announce them today and get them shipped out. And all of the invoices from this week will go out today. Hmm. Wonder why. The economy bad out there or what? Hmm. Let's start over. There's a slight scratch right there. We'll try again. Looks like it's gone now. Good. We'll hit this again real fast and be ready to go. There was just a slightest scratch I could see. I don't know if it was from a tool market nest or what. This is a cap for a kitless pen. If you can grow your online market, it's better anyways. You can reach a bigger audience than you can locally. Thanks, Glenn. These are caps for kitless pens. You'll see them when they're finished here shortly. Okay, now we can wax it up. I don't know where Steve is today. He might be, I think he's out hunting. Thank you, John. Stephanie says he's sleeping. Oh, Stephanie outed him. I like it. I'm glad to see it. Good morning, Stephanie. This was the competition pour from last month, or showcase pour, I should say. They have made some beautiful kitless pens. Here's the body that it matches. Let's see what I have. I have two left. I have a pink and I have a semi-transparent. We'll do this. We'll do that one last because I most likely will have to internal polish some of that. Now this pink one, so you get a chance to see what it looks like before and after. Mm, Excuse me, matches this body. Pink is one of the most requested colors, but pink, solid pink pens don't sell as fast as the solid other colors. Put some white in with it or something else. Pink goes like crazy. Yes, Steve made a beautiful DP pen and writing pen with his. Let's let that blush up. I'm glad to see Steph jumped in on that. Thank you, Stephanie. Me neither. I wouldn't have guessed it, but that's what I've heard a bunch of times. Although we'll see. We'll see if this pink one sells. It's not currently sold, but it has a slight taper to the pen for the body, and the cap has got a nice semi-rounded shape. It should be beautiful when it's polished up here. Although my daughter's already been eyeballing it, so I have to watch. We stand a chance to sell it. Somebody wants to buy, I have to keep it away from Jade. I've heard that with orange, but I've not had any issue selling orange. I think it has to be the right shade and the right time and the right time of year. Orange is seasonal. Thank you. It's a gorgeous pink color, in my opinion. Blues, teals, purples, anything in those color like families. Yeah, I do as well. Carla's a blue person. I have some blanks in the pot that are blue, like a real bright, brilliant blue with black in them, and they should be gorgeous. Yeah, not everybody likes green. I'm surprised as well, John. Blues, pinks, purples, teals are usually very popular. Abalone is a gorgeous colorway as well. Stephanie loves green. Good morning, Stephanie. You don't know if Steve's going to get up. He'll get up. I don't know where Momo is. She might be sleeping in. I have found that usually if we do an early morning or an early Saturday morning, we don't have as many people with the lewd comments. I know she's been sick a little bit this week, so she might be sleeping in. Thank you all for all the claims in the drop last night. We were very grateful. Success, ready or not. She must have woke him up. Ready or not. Would you all like to see a kitless pen turn today or a diamond pen? I can turn a kitless pen on the wood lathe today, or on the metal lathe today. I have some bespoke lengths, like rounds, of the black ones from yesterday that are in the pot. Hey, buddy. Kitless. Okay. Well, we'll turn one on the metal lathe. I'll have to go get that set up over there and move the camera. You have to bear with me for a few minutes. But I've got one we can make over there. I usually just polish on the wood lathe because I don't like to get any metal near the metal lathe or any water near the metal lathe. So, hmm, enough beautiful sleep. Okay. Wax. I would say that pen polished up really well even before the wax. The water just wants to beat up on it. He's already beautiful. Spoken like a true Marine. You having coffee and crayons this morning, pal? Which one tastes better, the coffee or the crayons? God bless our troops, especially the crayon eaters. That division is usually often left to do the most with the least. Their budget always comes up well every time they have budget audits because they don't have anything. They just steal everybody else's stuff from other units or use it and return it. I stir your coffee with my crayon. Oh, you have a great sense of humor, pal. Glad to see it. Been through a lot. Sense of humor is always something good to carry. Close friend of mine posted one day that his mom and dad loved comedy, and growing up, everybody in his house was always a comedian, always funny, and always having a good time, and good laughs, and good jokes. And I commented, "Your parents love comedy so much that they had a funny looking kid." And he replied back, "Yeah, it was my sister." I really like this pink pen because there's not much step from the cap to the body, and it's got a nice little rounded, feature to it. It's beautiful color, and it's got a slight taper from about here down, so that when you're writing with it, it fits into the bridge of your hand just a little better. This would be gorgeous with a silver or a black nib, but it's a solid pink, and it's all made with dyes, so it's an even color all the way through. Beautiful. Mom's less important child. Thanks, pal. Like I said, and it's got just a nice. Most kitless pins have a bigger step between the body and cap, and this one we wanted to go for a very minimal step. Okay, I've got one left to polish, and I want to put a little bit of chamfer on the edge, so we'll do that while we have it on there. Hmm, dust on there or dirt in there or something? It seems a little bit tight. It shouldn't. Hmm. Let me find a long Q-tip here. We'll clean the threads and make sure, because we don't want to tighten it up and crack the cap. Let me clean the threads here and make sure we don't. What it acts like, 'cause it was tight at first and it's continually gotten better. Make sure we don't have any dirt in there anywhere. That's what it was. Little dirt and a thread. Okay. We're gonna touch up the end of this cap just a little bit. I would like to have it a little more rounded. Okay. It does get, you have issues with rounding edges like this on the end. You all are out of this morning with Carla. She's gonna get you. Don't come whining to me when she gets you. The expensive part of kitless are the tap and dies. The mandrels aren't too much. They're 25, $30 a piece. The collet chuck, niche threading tool for the end, which you can use the threading tool from Amazon as well. But the tap and dies for triple start are the expensive part. That's not the whole setup. I think that only includes one set of dies. Plus, you'll need mandrels. And I don't know if the kit, if that set comes from Turner's with mandrels. I have to look. The last time I looked, I don't think it was complete. You need some other parts and pieces. Altogether, it should cost you 12 or $1,500. There's some stuff that needs added to the Turner's kit. It's not entirely complete. It's close. Tap and die for each size for like a 13 millimeter for a cap is $300 a die and tap and die set. For just one tap and die is 300. Well, 260, 250. I'm not sure. It might include, I think, just a 13 millimeter cap and die. I forget what else it includes, but it might include just one and a tool holder. Santa has your kitless list. Nicole in there. If you want to go with triple start mandrels, yes, it'll make it a lot easier. triple start and tap and die as well. It'll make it a lot easier. It's not cheaper, but I can set it up that way. I was trying to make a list of something to go with single start, but the problem with single start is getting a manual made. But if you go with a triple start, if you buy at least the 13 millimeter caps, you can always make more later. I think if you go with that and get you started, save you a little money on the tool holders and that kind of stuff. But yes, we could also do a live and go through a whole kit list if you would like. Show you what other parts and pieces there are. This one's more transparent than I thought, so it's probably going to have to get internal polished. I can do that later. Let's make a kitless pen to get this finished. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks. Adding enabler. That's funny. That's really funny. He is an enabler. Hmm, that's funny. Okay. Polish his cap up. Let's let that blush up. Where's your box, Steve? Stephanie has it. Good morning, Michelle. Let me try to clean this up a little bit with a long cotton swab. We may not have to internally polish this one. We'll see. Anybody doing any last minute Christmas shopping today? If we have to polish it, I'll polish it later. But let's see if we can get away with it. Not all of them do you have to polish. Sometimes. Depends on how smooth the drill was and how transparent the blank is. Hmm. Trying to get shot, Steve. Mm, I'll probably polish it up later. We can put a practice nib in it to look and see. Okay. So typically when you were going to put a fountain pen together, or kitless pen in this case, right? Um, let's take this out of the way. Okay. We'll put it back here. Yeah, this one's going to have to get internal polished. And we'll switch mats. Okay. So we'll use the black one because it makes for good contrast. Here's what I've polished up this morning. If they're opaque, like all of these, it's not a big deal. And there's a little bit of transparency like this, still not a big deal. But when there's a lot of transparency, like this one, you want to internal polish that, which I'll do later, just so that it's super clear. But typically, let's see, hold on, let me catch up on the comments here. Okay. So when you have a kitless body like this, kitless pen, it's made up of a couple parts, and I will show you how to make these over there on the other lathe this morning. But typically, you're going to see even like this one, which this one is made from blanks that wouldn't sell, ironically. This is our golden rose and slightly holographic green with gold glitter in it, or gold flake in it. Nice patented, or not patented, but nice rounded dome shape. But so typically with a kitless pen, we use this purple one as well. Okay, you're going to have a body, a section, and a cap. So this would be your body, and this is where your triple start thread is, and this is internally threaded as well to hold the section. So you would have a body, and you have a section. Now your section is externally threaded. This is typically 10 by 1. This is typically internally threaded 10 by 1. So your tap here, die here, or I'm sorry, die here, tap here. And your section is also drilled and internally threaded to hold a nib. This is a Yowo #6 nib, and the thread size is correct. And you can buy a tap for this. And you were to thread this nib in like so. And I have a roller ball adapter that we can put roller balls in these as well. It's a different tap, but it still has the same section. And then you would take your ink converter. We always use the Schmidt K5 converters, which is what this is. They seem to be the least issue, least leaks, anything like that. And you would snap it in and twist to make sure it's seated. And then you take the cap and body, or the section and body, and thread one piece into the other. And then you would thread your cap on. And mind you, your converter is typically full of ink. Let me show you that. So in order to fill it with ink, I don't know how well you can see here, but to fill it with ink, you would turn this and the plunger would go down. And while it's down, this piece is submerged in your ink bottle or ink vial. So it would be covered like this. And then you would turn this back up, and this would draw vacuum on the converter. And the ink would come up in it. And then I always like to give it just a little bit of a turn back to where there's ink that you'll see slightly run down right here. And when it slightly runs down and drips, you're in the good. Pardon the tines are bent on this. Like I said, it's a practice nib just to make sure stuff fits. And then put the body inside or the section inside the body. And then you put the cap on. We have achieved pretty consistent results that you could use any cap from any body we make and mix and match. We also will start offering a solid body. And then each month, if you wanted to, you can subscribe and get a different section so that you have a new fancy section for your pens. The sections will fit regardless of the pen. This section will fit in any body that we make. We end up polishing these so well I'd have to wear white gloves when I final assemble them so I don't end up with any swirls or fingerprints. Like a syringe, yes. Yeah, you can buy a single body And then we'll have colorful sections every month. Hey, thank you all so much for the compliments. Good morning, Debbie. Thank you, Steve. But like I said, it takes a little bit of time to develop a consistency where things are always the same size that they fit no matter what. Just like you could mix and match, say you had the pink and blue one and the pink and green one, they would match. Now, because the bodies we turn for different sizes, you may or may not have more of a step here, but they're all consistently within a millimeter of each other. And then if you look at the pink we did almost no step. And I think this one will be available with a black nib in it or rose gold nib. We'll see. And then this one is the shortest of the bodies we make, but it still takes the same converter, same cartridge. The body's just a little bit shorter. It's about the minimum length we could make it, as you can see the difference. And when you look at this, because there's no drill, the drill bit stops up here where the thickness is. You can see how nice and transparent the resin is inside of that. But these are really nice with the contrasting ends and the golden rose. I don't know where Darren is or Pond. Good morning, humble blank maker. Good morning, Debbie. It's not that hard to figure out. If I can figure it out, anybody else can figure it out. I'm not that smart. I typically don't like to do ones that are super transparent. They're with internal polishing. It just takes a lot of time and adds to the cost because of the extra time to internal polish. The showcase blanks from last month, when made as a kitless, there were some kitless pens in there with it. And then to see it in person and up close, the colors are spectacular. I mean, absolutely stunning. I don't know if that's cloudy or not. Yeah, I'm not that smart, but I mean, just hardworking. That's all. Just very hardworking. Okay. Um, Bear with me, and I will go over and set up stuff in the other shop to make everything that we have here. Let me take this mandrel and call it out of there. Maybe. There we go. Just tight. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. I'll be back to get you. Flush up butter. Blush up butter. I like that. Blush up butter. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Let's take blush up butter. That's great. Somebody else wants to polish. I'll gladly hit this all day long. Polishing is the real part that's hard. Flush up better. That's good. Unfortunately, I won't be able to read the comments very well, but you all will be able to see very well. I don't typically film on this lathe, so bear with me. Okay, we're going to take this piece out that I was working on. Okay, we are going to do what I think is a beautiful blank, and I've been wanting to work on for a while. Like I said, pardoning angle. Let me move a couple things. Might be able to move it around to this side better. Okay. Okay. Yeah, move to the metal lathe, Steve. Let's see if we can do any better with this. There we go. How is that? Better. That should allow us to see better. Okay, so this is the blank we're going to use. We need a collet that it fits in, which will be this. And here's a collet chuck. This is the nut for the collet chuck. Wipe out anything that's in there. Okay, so we're going to make a body first. So we're going to need to leave a little bit out so we can clean up the face and thread it. Okay. Now a metal lathe is a little different. Well, it's a lot different than a wood lathe. Um, as you can see, there are handles to make things transverse or linear, and you don't hold the tool with your hand because it's designed to turn metal. It would rip the tool out of your hand. Now with resin, not so much. Okay, so we're gonna clean this face up. Got a little bit of that around on my blank, so we'll try to turn that just a little bit to where it's more true to start. Let's see if that works better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. So now we're going to do across the face. So you hit the face. We're going to use our center drill. And put a hole in the center. Oh, well, I was looking out this. Oh, it's not was moving. There we go. That's better. Sorry about that. We're going to turn a kitless fountain pen. Okay, so here we go with our center drill. I typically always recommend one because it's the best way to find tree center. Now we're going to put a key chuck in there. And I need a 6 millimeter drill bit. I have it marked for the depth of our cutter. So we're going to put it up to here. We're going to run it in slowly. And then we'll go back out often. We are going to the market from a tour. We came up with that by using the pens from our pen and cutter, which you'll see just shortly. You can use a little WD-40 or a little oil to help keep things cool and smooth. Okay, so now that part's finished. We can take that out. I use the pen and cutter from Ames Pen. It works very well. It's a well-made tool. We're going to set this up for 13 millimeter. It's from the nylon for it. Bear with me for a second. I have a couple of tools between both shops. That's really strange for the Allen not to do so. Not enough my compass sucked it up with the shot back, which may have happened, which is what I'm guessing happened. He was cleaning up the shop the other day, and he may have sucked up the Allen wrench with the shot back. Positive he did. Okay. Bear with me, we found another one here. Okay, sit down now. Let me set up the Tillman cutter here for 13 millimeter. Sorry about the delay there. Like I said, I'm pretty sure my accomplice stuffed it up with the salt guide. Okay, so in order to use the tenon cutter correctly, you should oil the inside of the tenon cutter and oil the inside of the blank. And we're going to cut the body to 13 millimeter. So we can use 13 millimeter fat. Okay. And we have a mark for about how far to make this. It's okay. I can make it a little darker so you all can see it. I need about that far. I may get up close to it here. Lock it pull off. Some people don't use a tenon cutter. Some people just use a micrometer and they go back and forth. I found this to be the most consistent and the easiest for us and produce the most consistent results. Like I said, everybody's different. Some people like it, some people don't. We do, so we continue to use it. Sometimes the shaft can be a little slippery to get out. Okay, there we go. And my tenon cutter is done for now. It's really complicated. You don't have to do the brass beads like a tip pen. Nope. All right. Thanks, Glenn. Okay. Now we have that part made. We need to put our drill bit back in. And now we are going to drill the length of the body for 8 millimeter. This is what the space needed or the internal diameter needed for the ink converter to fit in. Okay, here we go. And like I said before, always go super easy and smooth. Hold this, always hold this chuck so that nothing spins or has any issues. And then hold this mark as well. Okay. Funny deep. You can clean it out. And now we need to drill the face up here just a little bit, about a quarter of an inch for 9 millimeter. And that's going to be for our body to be able to fit into the cap. Always go super easy in the pan, which is always, because all it would take would be a slight harsh drill, and it will ruin the end of that, and you will have to start over again. Don't ask me how I know this. By the way, okay, a piece is filled. Now we can put in our tap and tap our bodies and shafts, or our bodies internally and externally. So now we're going to spread this by hand. We only have 8. Are we buffering? Did we lose some people? Clean all the debris out of here. Okay. Always recommend a little bit of lubricating oil. Okay. Okay. Show 11, 12. We were up to 30. And thread this in by hand until you feel it get tight. Do not push past. Once it gets tight, you will crack the body. Okay. And then back this out. And this is on a tool holder. This is called a tap holder. Okay. I always like to clean it out and then tighten it up and run one more time just to make sure everything is clear. That blank will be frosted. It will not be transparent. It won't be totally clear. It will just be frosted. It is not totally transparent, which is what I prefer. If you're going to have translucency, I prefer it to be a frosted look. Okay. Now we're going to remove that tool holder and we're going to put on the die holder. And we're going to tap the outside of this for 13 millimeter, 13 by 0.08, which is a triple start thread. It will not be totally transparent, Steve. It will be translucent, like a taillight lens. Glenn, do you recognize the blank? Put in a little oil. Okay. What I also like to do to make sure that the section is going to fit into the body is I have a little tool that's going to make a slight flare inside of this, or chamfer. This is just a standard tool, but I'm 3D printed the handle. Oh, whoops. Looks like we're going to start again. Push too hard. And now we broke the body. Well, we'll get another one and try again. It happens. You all have seen me make beautiful stuff and you've seen me make mistakes. So it looks like we're going to get another piece of that, which fortunately I have. No, it doesn't have anyone's name on it, but let me go get another piece. Share with me a second, because I don't think I have one in here. I don't, but I do have one over there. So we'll make another one. Actually, that works out really well because you're going to get to see how they get cut as well. Cut the length. You can use a saw or you can use what I'm about to use. You can very, very risky when you first make the body like that. Once it's assembled, not a big deal. But to make it is a little risky. Okay. We'll mark the body and we'll cut another one. As you've heard us say before, don't get discouraged. We can still keep going. Now you get to see even more from the beginning instead of a piece already cut. Okay. We have a mark where we need the length of our body. We're going to trade out. Let me run that in so you can see it. You notice this is what we were turning with. We're going to trade that out for a cutting attachment. And here we go. Nothing to worry about. It happens. It happens probably more than we would like to admit, but not a big deal. We'll lock down our tool. We will start the lathe. And we will cut this off. Don't get discouraged. You can always find a way to salvage it. John, are you still with us? Okay. I'm going to cut it off here. I could tell Steve and Gwen still on. I wasn't sure if Joan was still with us or not. Okay, now we have our body. It was cracked, and we have a new one. We can probably salvage that for a cap or make it for another body of some sort. Just make a shorter pen. Okay, now we switch out tool holders again, right? So we swap this one for this one. We bring it back. We start it again. It's pretty interesting to watch. That's for sure. And we're going to clean up the face of this one. Okay, clean up the face of that. Okay, put all our loads back on this one. We can take this piece of the tool holder away. We put our center wheel on. The bodies are wrong for the deal. We always spin it later. Okay, put a drill bit holder, a 6 millimeter drill bit. And we try again. Okay, we throw it out. Put in our turning cutter, which we thankfully already have set up for 13 millimeter. Okay, put a little oil in there. set it up. Okay. Take our pen cutter out. Any questions? Yeah, it's pretty precise. We can put our drill bit back in. We're going to go for 8 millimeter. Okay, good go. We can drill it from 9 millimeter. Okay, we can tap the body. Actually, we could put a camper in there before we put a fill in it. Okay, we need a tap holder or a die holder, please say, sorry. And then we'll clear the chips out. Oil the outside of this. We will oil the inside of the die. Okay. And now we'll very slowly and easily cut the threads on here. Okay. We usually keep a test cap around. We can try that. Test cap fits just fine. Okay. Yes, you can. You can hand thread on a wood lathe. It still just takes the tap holder like this, which would fit in your tailstock. Okay. Yep. The beauty of that tailstock holder is it just fits the standard MT2, which is what most wood lathes and metal lathes are. Some of your bigger metal lathes are going to be an MT3 or something custom. But for you, Steve, with what you have with the Jet, it's an MT2. I can send you the link from Amazon or post it whenever we are doing the live with that kitless pen stuff. Okay. So we're going to thread this. Okay. Try to make sure that it threads nice and smooth. Now we can test it with our test section. And it fits. And it fits well. Okay. Great. Great, great, great. Very great. Okay. So that fits. That fits. Now our body is finished until we're ready to turn it to shape. So while we still have that size collet in there, we're going to take our tap holder and die holder out. We're going to remove our body. And our body is finished, as you can see. Yeah, the metal lathe does create a little more precise control. Inspect our body for any issues. I don't see any. Okay. Now we will make cap. Now the cap gets no external thread, only internal. Okay. As always, clean up the face. Okay. Use the sand drill. Okay. Now we're going to use the drill holder. We're going to use the 31/64 drill bit. And have it marked. Okay. For the depth we need. Okay. We're going to put it close. We're going to do easy. Very, very easy. This is the sort of 13 M13 by 0.08 typical cap. The cap. How's the noise? Can you all hear me, or can you hear the background noise of the lady? Yeah, top is good. Okay, we'll give our tap over back out. And we switch back to our triple stroke tap, which is what a key holder looks like. Geez, is it too noisy? Yeah, we're gonna put a little oil in there. Actually, before we go that far, we're going to chamfer the cap as well. Yes, this is the cap. Is it very noisy with the lathe? Do I need to change some settings in the AirPods? Can you all hear fine? Okay, we can test fit our body. Fits a little tight. So let's add a little more thread. Okay, good. Let's clean that off and we'll hit it again. Okay, we'll clean it out. We'll test fit our body. Perfect. We'll give it just a little more chamfer. Nice and easy. That's what we want to see. Yes, add thread on the cap. Yep, cap is internally threaded. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now comes the most difficult part, according to a lot of turners, or let's say pen makers. Okay, now if you look, we have no gap where our body and cap fit, and they look like a good close match from the same pour. No, chamfering won't hurt the threads, not unless you go too deep. Okay, so now we get to take this off, and this off. You're going to get to see what I think is the most interesting step is with making the section. And a lot of people say it's the most difficult step, but I'll let you be the judge. Okay, as always, clean up the body or clean up the face. Okay, very good. We need the drill check for the key that's check. We need our 6 millimeter drill bit. Maybe we're going to do it all the way through. Okay, all the way through. Now we're going to put our tenon cutter back in. And we're going to set that up for 10 millimeter. Okay, let's set up to 10 millimeter. Remember from our previous step, we oil the inside with the tenon cutter already going to reach for the oil the inside with. We import the pen. We advance this to the place. We back it up. Okay. Now we advance it again. We're going to cut about a quarter. Always hold your tongue cutter just in case for some reason it would have come in the cast box. Okay. So sometimes a little rod likes to stick inside of it. I think it's just vacuum from the oil. It'll come right out. Okay. Now our 10 millimeter tenon is cut. We're going to use our tool holder for 10 millimeter thread. This is a 10 by 1. This is for the back side of the section. Okay. It should thread nice and easy. Yeah, the section is pretty cool to watch. It's pretty hard. Hi, Gail. I see that you're getting a lot of snow up there. I've noticed your posts the last couple days. That's a lot of snow. Okay, so you need a little bit of a back drill for your section to fit in, your ink converter to fit in. So I usually back drill with the 7.5 millimeter. This way your ink converter fits in there just fine. And go super, super easy on this part. Otherwise, we're going to start over again. Be very, very careful. And go very, very easy. Especially when you first start on the face of it. Okay. That was section we've made for that side of it. Now we got to cut the other face and cut the other side. Okay. I always like to make sure my section fits in the body. I usually do it with it still in the, fits just fine. Like I said, I usually do it with it still in the lathe. I usually try to fit the body before I take it loose so it's all still round and centered. Okay. And we need to cut this down to fit the right size so that all of our sections are the same. And this section needs to be 1.32 inches. So I'm going to set my calipers up. We're going to measure this to 1.32. We're going to make a mark. There. Now we're going to put the section back in. We're going to tighten it up. Okay. We're going to take this much material off to get down to our line too. We'll do that with a couple passes. Okay. Outside's done. Face is clean. Yeah, nice clean new face. Okay. Now we're going to put the chuck back in the keyless drill chuck. And I have these bits made from Victoria, which is a step bit, which is to put the drill in number 6. It has all the steps already made into it. I only have to drill one time. I make sure I use plenty of oil on this and I don't drill too fast. And let's see if you can see the different sizes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Really good. Couldn't be hot. Okay, it's not. You put some oil in. Okay. And I do this. Is it about where that last one touches? We go about one time. We pull back and look. Could be deep enough. Okay. Before we get finished, we take this out. Take the drill chuck out. And we go back to our cap over. The beauty of a step bit is everything's drilled at one time. And then we get your section cap, put it in the cap holder, tighten it up. Everything fits nice and smooth. We tap that for the section. And then we take our test nib. Might be over the other shop. I think it's over the other shop in that pen. Oh, here it is. Okay, so when we test it to see if it fits, fits just fine. Nice and tight. Just like we like it. Right up on the surface. Ready to go. Okay, are we better now? Okay. Okay. Now our section and stuff is made. Well, they're rough made. They're not finished. I wanted to quit at noon, but it looks like we're going to quit about 1. Okay, now we're going to rough turn our bodies and get that part finished. I will not get time to polish these, but you've already seen what polishing looks like, so we should be good. Okay, now where some more questions always come in as to how to cut them to size, da 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 da. We'll show you that right now. Steve, we actually have elk in West Virginia, down in the southern part of the state. They started a management program and aren't allowing anybody to shoot them, just to grow them. And it's down in the southern part. And there's elk in West Virginia. There's elk in over next to Moorfield and Tucker County as well. Okay, now we need, actually, let's turn this section first. Make sure it's going to fit the body and everything else. It's about 100 degrees in this basement. Okay, this is a 1/2 inch collet. It holds our section mandrel. We're a little bit out of round, as you can see. We'll loosen this up. Try to find a sweet spot. Sometimes it takes a few tries. And sometimes you have to loosen it up enough to move the collet as well. I've got a new nut ordered that's self-centering with a bearing on it that should help with this. That's pretty good there. That'll work. Okay. Good. Clean out the section. Okay. We can put our section on here. Tighten it up. Button. We're gonna have one for tool holder. We're gonna put our tail stop last in it. There's one. Okay, and now we're gonna put our tool over here. We're gonna have one. We're gonna cut this body. We cut the section up this way. Down. Power chuck is usually self-centering, but there's always a little bit of finesse to it. Sometimes it's in centering versus perfectly round. The perfectly centered can sometimes take a second. Yeah, this makes sure. Okay. If you cut the passes, get a body size down. almost to 5. Okay, let's check those down to 5. And now we need to cut a little paper to it. Okay, section is cut, papered, temporary papered. Now we just need sanded. Like I said, it will be frosted. It will not be transparent, but it'll be frosted. We found our body and cap here. Make sure everything fits. We're going to thread our section in. Make sure our cap goes over. Perfect. There is a learning curve. I've messed up a couple, but it's not bad. Okay, so we're going to move this out. Take this collet out. That section is finished. Put that collet over here. Now we need a 5/8 collet. We'll turn our body. Okay. Check it for clean. Not great. So we'll try it again. Not great. Try that. Pretty good. Nice and true. Yep. Okay. Now we're going to spread our body onto there. Okay, body's tight. We'll put the tailstock just a little bit till we make our first pass. Put this back over here. Make a clean pass. Just to pull our body up. It's a little bit short, but make another one. It's not that big of a learning curve. It wasn't for me. You guys are smarter than I am. Hmm. Oh, your heck of a mess in a hurry. The 15 millimeters is what we went to the body. $15.62. Yeah, that'll work. We also can use our other body to then make them all the same. Figure out how the maximum depth, we can subtract that from the length. Make sure we know how far we can make it, how minimum length we can make it. So let's go with here. That's the shortest we can make it. Okay, so what I like to do is just take a little bit off the back so that the body isn't as long. Some people tend to like a longer pen. I don't. And switch tool holders. and go very slow because if it goes too fast, you run the risk of completing an angle that the body comes up in the tool cutter and snaps the body off of there. Okay, let's see how this back. Okay, from here, advance, bring up the end, okay, and we can put a little taper to the end as well. Just, just only a shady thing. That's light paper. Okay. Our body is made. Our section is made. Right? Body section. Here's what the body looks like with an unturned section. Hmm. Okay. Body and section. This should be beautiful when it's finished. Hmm. Got a little issue. My cap fits tight. Give me 1 second to clean that up. Okay. Okay. Let's turn our body. Take our mm, take our section mandrel out, or our body mandrel out. Sorry. And then put in our cat mandrel. Pretty close. Nice. Okay. Now we're gonna cut our body. Remember our caps are our body's about 15 millimeters, so we're gonna cut our cap. Yeah. Let's check our diameter and see what it is. 16.99, so 17. Let's take that down to a 16.2. Yeah, that's good. It's definitely going to be a stunner. I like when they slightly frosted like this. When I don't have things on the polish. I don't prefer the internal polish, and I prefer the only reason to pay for the time because it's a lot of work to internal polish. We're going to come right up on 1 o'clock and be done. Good deal. Thanks to everyone who stuck it out. We can also shorten our cap up just a little bit. Okay. You also the beauty of setting up a consistent measurement, trying to make all of the internal to your tongue the same. You have a bunch of different external lengths that's different, but as long as the internal parts are all the same, similar, you can mix and match back and forth with your tongue. Cool. You can put a slight paper on this one too. Get your place here. Okay. And there we have it. We have a kitless body. Rough turn, ready for polish. Okay, here's a. If you want to see it with a nib in it. Let me find the nib. Right there it is. You get a better idea of what it's going to look like when it's finished. And we do have colored nibs as well. It just adds to the expense, but the colored nibs are beautiful. Should be gorgeous. Okay. Everybody have a good day. Thanks for those who stuck it out with us. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.